What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today you are joining me in Maui, Hawaii. We have a 2023 Model 3 rear-wheel drive as a rental, and I thought, why not run a battery test? I have it down to 5% from today's use. Our hotel has free non-authenticated charging, which means that you can run a battery test without issues. So why not? Today's video is brought to you by tubetoolkit.com. Tired of spending hours writing titles, descriptions, and tags for every video? With Tube Toolkit, just paste your YouTube link and AI generates optimized titles, SEO descriptions, timestamps, tags, and more in seconds. Plus AI thumbnails, shorts ideas, CTR scored titles, and full SEO toolkit. Start free with 3 videos a month. Upgrade anytime as your channel grows. tubetoolkit.com. Turn your videos into content gold. Thank you to Tube Toolkit for sponsoring today's video. If anyone feels inclined to run a Carfax to know the full vehicle history on this car, feel free. But to my knowledge, this car was likely bought new to be used as a rental from an EV rental car company. And I would imagine that a large chunk of its miles have been supercharged. The Tesla supercharger here only opened about a year ago, so maybe not. A fair amount of it could have been from the 50 kilowatt CCS chargers around the island here in Maui. It's also possible that a lot of it was level 2. I don't really know. This is a use case that I'm not as familiar with. This whole island limited fast charging, not really road tripping per se, at least not in the traditional sense like you would see in the mainland US or even in Europe. So if anyone has more context to what that use case typically looks like, feel free to chime in. But I have this car drained down to 5%. I actually calibrated it yesterday on a supercharger to 100% while we were shopping at Target. There's a supercharger and we walked over there and it was able to calibrate. And then last night, the level 2 charger here was actually functioning. So we were able to use that and charge up to 100% overnight last night as well. Our first night here, the level 2 here at the hotel was actually broken. So I think I witnessed a miracle that they actually fixed it. It's an old GE WattStation 30 amp unit. So certainly nothing special, and it's pretty much a miracle when you find one of those that still works because it's pretty uncommon, but it's working. So I'm pretty confident in the calibration of this LFP battery. I'm doing 2 100% chargers in a row, so I think it should be pretty indicative. We drove about 110, 115 miles, something like that today, from 100% all the way down to 5%. We also had the AC blasting whenever we were stopped. A lot of low speed driving, so having the AC on at pretty high tilt definitely uses a lot of battery. We were at like 340 watt hours per mile, which is not normal efficiency for one of these Model 3 rear wheel drives. But yeah, that's just the reality. When it's pretty hot out, it's like 85 to 90 degrees here in Maui, pretty humid, and we had some chocolate, some drinks. We also have a baby, so definitely want to keep things nice and cool in here so that way we're not getting into a hot car, and then the things that we leave in the car, like the drinks and stuff, of course not the baby, can stay nice and cool. And these black seats, they get toasty, so you definitely want to have the AC running to keep those from being too hot when you get back in the car. But without further ado, I have the car plugged in, I have the charging stopped, and let me show you this on the screen. So before we start the battery tests, since you can't really do anything once that starts, I did want to show a couple things here. So here's Tessie. I have Tessie set up on this rental. I just added the virtual key while I have it. And from those 2 charges that we did, it's showing 92.27% battery health and 7.73% degradation. It's showing 55.62 kilowatt hour usable with 249 miles of max range. And this is showing 253.37 battery cycles and about 10.5 megawatt hours charged through it. So these, it can only see the point in time data from when it gets the first reading. This stuff is definitely the most useful when you start it from the vehicle being brand new, but obviously I can't do that since this is a rental. So it's only able to get it from while I've had it here. And yeah, it's done 253 battery cycles, which is quite a few. Anyway, let's get into showing you how you can tell that it's an LFP battery. So here you can see on the charge limit screen. So when you don't have the daily and then, or from 50% to 80% showing daily, and then from 80 to 100% showing trip, and you can just set it to 100% no problem. And then you can also get this message here saying we recommend keeping your charge limit at 100% and charging fully once per week. So there you go. That is how you can tell that it's an LFP. You can also go into here. So there's the VIN in case someone did want to run a Carfax or whatever. You can go into additional vehicle information. And then if it is an LFP, it will show high voltage battery type, lithium iron phosphate, not to be confused with this, which is low voltage battery type lithium ion, which is all newish Teslas, I believe 2022-ish and newer, something like that. And then this is just the base Model 3, as you can see there. And just a quick note here, I think any rental car should have premium connectivity, because having to connect my phone hotspot to use Spotify or streaming media in this is very annoying. And I think a rental car company should spend $100 a year to have premium connectivity. I think that is just a cost of doing business and gives a much better experience for the people renting the car. I also think they should give the option of FSD, or just give people that, because base autopilot kind of sucks. But on that note, even though I think base autopilot sucks, which is now known as traffic aware cruise control and auto steer, because of the whole California lawsuit thing that they can't call it autopilot anymore, I still think that should be included with every new Tesla. And it is completely unacceptable that you can buy a new Tesla today and it does not come with any form of lane keep. You can buy a base model Kia and it comes with lane keeping. So that is completely unacceptable for Tesla to remove that and only give you adaptive cruise control with no lane keeping and force you to get full self-driving if you want to have anything more than that. So anyway, let's go into the service menu without further ado, and we'll get this battery test started. So in case you're not familiar, let's go into settings, which is the car icon down here. We'll go into service, and then we'll scroll all the way down to the bottom. Here you can see, since a battery health test has not been run recently, it will just show batteries healthy, which is just a generic term for that it doesn't have any faults. We'll run battery health test. There we go. I'm not sure why it's showing that it can't. Oh, there we go. It had to run a test there. So now we have all green there. So we have vehicles in park, 20% or less. We're at 5%. Connected to the internet, no software updates are scheduled, no battery or thermal alerts, connected to an AC charging station, and can provide at least 5 kilowatt of power. Pro tip, if you're plugging in and not going to start it immediately, definitely make sure you stop charging immediately, because otherwise you'll end up charging it right before it drains it back down. So definitely plug it in, immediately hit stop either on the app or on the screen, so that way it's not adding energy before you're starting the test, because the test will first drain it down. And here you can see the notes here. It says it will take up to 13 hours, which is totally fine. It is 6:22 here in the evening. And I don't anticipate driving before 7:30 in the morning tomorrow morning. And here it will discharge to between 0 and 10% before recharging to 100%. It will make noise. That's not a concern, and do not interact with the vehicle. So standard stuff. We've done this here on the channel before. We'll hit start test. Start test. There we go. And then I will hop out of the car here in just a moment, and it will lock, and then that will hide on the screen. It is going to make some noise, so hopefully no one is too concerned with that. It's pretty hot out here, so I don't think anyone would be too alarmed. Not really any different than just running the climate. And also wanted to note that I have run these battery tests on my wife's Model Y long range rear wheel drive, a 2025 model year. That is half the age with half the mileage of this. And it had 88% battery health on its most recent health test at about 13,000 miles and about 18 months old. So that is completely unacceptable degradation, in my opinion. I'm really hoping this is a lot better, but we shall see. My guess, I'm saying this while the test is just starting here, so I'm not cheating. I'm guessing 92% battery health, maybe even as high as 95. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely comment your guesses down below. Would be curious to hear what you think. I am a huge fan of LFP batteries. I think they should be what Tesla uses in pretty much all of their normal cars. If they want to use NMC or NCA in like the Plaid or more high performance versions, great. You can have a little bit more degradation there. But I think for the everyday vehicles, people don't want degradation. They just want a battery they can beat the crap out of and not care. Charge to 100% daily and just use it and have very little degradation. And that's not currently the batteries that Tesla's using in their normal cars, which is really a shame. And China is just wiping the floor on the American battery tech right now with their golden brick and all the other batteries that they're using in their cars that do 5C, 10C, whatever, they charge so much better than what we have here in the US, which is really unfortunate. Anyway, see you guys in the morning. It should drain down to 0%. We'll recap the test tomorrow once it's run and we have results. Well, it took like 18 hours to run the test. It finished charging at about 9:30. Didn't finish the test until almost 1:30 in the afternoon. And yeah, it's been a long time that it was saying about 1 hour, less than 1 hour remaining. That was very much alive. So let's see the final results here. And I'm curious what you guys think. I was a little bit surprised. So first, let's go here. It's showing 251 miles of estimated range at 100%. And then it did actually charge up a little bit more here. We added 53 kilowatt hour according to the screen. We'll go into service. For whatever reason, it's not still showing on the screen. But here we have it, 90% battery health. And then again at 25,832, almost 26,000 miles. And this is a Model 3 rear-wheel drive LFP battery. So that's a little bit worse than I was expecting. And here you can see the details of that charging session. So we added 55.62 kilowatt hour, used 61.2 kilowatt hour, 91% efficiency. We went from 0 to 100%, finished charging at 9:35 a.m. and then it did a resting period in which it sat at 100%. You can see it sat flat at 6 kilowatt until the very end. And then we'll go into activity here. Last 24 hours should be fine. And then we'll go into voltage, which I believe is at the bottom. Battery voltage. So here you can see the typical LFP kind of climb there. I don't know why there we go. So you can see how it went from 364 all the way up to almost 400 volts, if that wants to focus. Maybe. Anyway, it went from 364 volts to 395 volts as it went up to 100%. That's pretty typical. A LFP battery has kind of an S-curve for voltage. It drops off quite a bit, very low, is flat pretty much 5 to 99% or so, and then climbs pretty dramatically towards the end. Anyway, I was expecting a little bit better battery degradation performance from this battery being an LFP, but I guess the results show for themselves. 90% state of health, which is, yeah, again, worse than expected. Comment down below what you guys think. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.